Hi guys, today I propose you a little pattern. It consists in a little short sleeve with puff and gather. So as you know, the sleeve should be, a sleeve block should be symmetrical from the bicep line all the way down. So I usually work my pattern in half and separate and make the different armhole line right at the end when the pattern is almost completed. So first thing I did, from my sleeve block with seam allowance, I traced a short sleeve, so I'll be able to do my pivoting exactly at the right level. So I did my little block and I did the difference between the front and the back, as you could see right here. So now on the back side, because it's bigger, a little bigger, I'm going to trace line to be able to open my pattern for the gathers. So you could trace lines parallel. I usually don't go further than the notch, the armhole notch. So you could do as many as you want, but don't go over because this is underarm. So I might do a last one here. Those lines are not style lines, so you could do by highs, it's no problem, I'll give you the same result. Then with a fold paper, you're going to start to do the development. So remember that my block has seam allowance included. So I might start by tracing that 1 centimeter seam allowance that I put at the bottom. It's not a hem because the bottom part is going to be curved, so it will have to be facing. So I'm going to start by tracing the first part. So from the fold to the first line, and it's up to you how much you're going to open. It's also up to you how many lines, like I said before, and if you're going to open in the middle or not. So the first opening is going to be, for my style, it's going to be right in the middle, and I'm going to hold my pivot right at the bottom, and I usually double, so 2 for 1 for the gather. So I did mark my first line, and I'm going to open till the middle of the sleeve touch the first line. So then what you're going to do, you're going to retrace that first part because it did move. So retrace the first part top and bottom and indicate again the second line. So I just indicate on top, I'm opening the top of the sleeve. So this time my pivoting point is going to be the first line, and I'm going to open until this reference point, holding the pivot at the seam line, and I'm going to trace the second part. Second part, top and bottom, and now my pivot is going to be the second line, but I will indicate the third one for how much to open. So I'm holding my pivot and opening the second opening, right here. And I do the same one more time, tracing the third area, both sides, and I'm going to indicate the last line for the opening. Hold the pivot, open, and trace the last part. And for this one, of course, if I want to double it, I'm going to have to put my reference exactly the same measurement as the opening to double this area also. So add my measurement for the last one with the ruler and open. Then I could trace the part that is not going to be gathered, the last part. Now that we did add the gather, so we completely doubled the measurement for the sleeve head, we're going to add the puffiness on the sleeve head. It's called blousing when it's at the bottom and puff on top of when it goes up. and you usually add twice what you want it to lift. So you could pinch something that you have with nice gather and just find out the measurement, and you double this measurement. So in this one, for example, it's about 1.5, so I will put 3 centimeter, and you go right on the fold line, square, and I'm going to put 3 centimeter, and you're just going to retrace the armhole from there going to the original notch area. So we have some gathers and we have the puff on top. So now we're going to cut all around, but we're not going to do the notches. So now it's time to make the little difference on this back and front sleeve. So you could open your pattern and trace your front area of the sleeve until the notch. And you're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side. Match this area with the sleeve head and cut the excess. And you could now notch your pattern. If you have to do a facing for the bottom finishing, you do it parallel about 5 centimeter all around the bottom, and you might want to do extra notches to assemble with your facing. I usually put it right in the middle so your facing sleeve stay completely symmetrical. And I'll do my double notch on the back. The notch for the center of the sleeve should remain at the same distance. So if your notch is a little towards the front, you keep it exactly at the same distance on the new sleeve. So just like that. And the last notch. Here you go. That's it for today. So I hope you will do some nice puff and gathered sleeve for your future garment project. And I see you next time.